Hello everyone and welcome to Makeover Monday Watch Me Viz for week 2 2021. I hope you're all doing well. I just need to do a bit of housekeeping real quick. Can you all confirm whether or not you can see my screen okay and you can see the entire screen? I would really appreciate that. And I'm going to just double check a couple of things here to make sure that we're all good to go. Still waiting for a few people to join in. Okay, the screen is black. Okay, no problem. Let me see if I can fix that. Let's see. Thank you for telling me. Okay, just seeing black. Let me make sure that I am capturing the screen correctly. Okay, how about now? Is that any better? Hopefully. Okay. So I'm glad I asked so that you can actually see it the whole time. All right, let me double check here. Only visible on the recording. So that turns it off and back on. Okay, just try turning it off and back on. If you could verify if you can see it or not, that would be great. Okay, still can't see it. All right, let me try something else then. Let me, done. Okay, I'm going to add a source, and it's going to be my video capture, display capture, add source, add source. Okay, I've just added a new source, so if you could please let me know again, that would be great. Still not working. 4:30. Okay. Okay, so you can see it now. Is that good? Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you helping me with that. So, yeah, this week's Makeover Monday is another Viz 5 initiative, and we're going to be looking at, let's see, we're going to be looking at gender inequality in HIV infections in adolescents in Africa. So, mouthful there. But let's start by looking at the original visualization, and we can see that here. So let me just go ahead and open that up. And the original visualization looks at, it looks like it's sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, roughly 1 million deaths caused by HIV since 1990. Gender inequality and its impact, okay, on adolescent girls. So estimating number of adolescents living with it. Okay, so the females are less than the males for sure, and those living with HIV. And then annually, the women is much higher than the men, and the incident rate is much higher for women than for men. Okay, and then in the map, we see just the different countries. Okay, so a couple of things here. There's definitely too many colors going on. On this line chart, area chart combination, I wouldn't, I don't think I'd have these dots around the top. I think that's a bit extra. The titles are okay. I find the male versus females pretty difficult to compare because you have to go left to right. And how am I supposed to find the same year? I think that's going to be quite difficult. So a better way to compare them would be useful. And then on the map, definitely too many numbers on there. I don't know what the countries are, so it seems like they all kind of blend together. So but it looks like the difference, or what they're trying to get at here, is the differences between the males and the females, and what is that disparity. So similar to last week's data set, I guess, in that we're trying to just make some simple comparisons between two things. Okay, so I'm going to go back and look at the information pack, because that'll have some information about the data set and what they're hoping to get out of it. And let's see if this is it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. So, okay. Data showing that girls account for 75% of new HIV infections among 10 to 19-year-olds in sub-Saharan Africa. So that might be something worth thinking about. Okay, and the theme. So those are all those. We can skip all that. Okay, the new with the distribution of new infections in Boros almost the same. It's during adolescence that gender disparities emerge at full force. In 2019, 130,000 adolescent girls and only 44,000 boys. The new infections disproportionately affect girls in countries where the HIV epidemic is driven by transmission during heterosexual intercourse. Okay. There's been a fall in HIV incidence in many countries, so that might again be something worth looking at. So I'm going to just highlight a couple of things here. Girls accounted for 75%. All right. Okay, that says globally, but I think our data is just for. So there's that. And what was the other note I saw here? Okay, there's been a fall in HIV incidence in many countries. Okay, so, okay, I want this one. And I'm doing this just so I have some of these things for reference later on. Okay, and that just keeps me from having to flip back and forth to this document all the time. All right, let's see about the data. It's only those few countries, so definitely can't say anything, make any assumptions about the whole world. Okay, let's get started. So I've got the data set. We can see, let's see, we've got countries. I like going through each of these and just looking at the different fields that are within it. So in the countries, okay, so these are all of the countries. And the UNICEF regions, let's see what those are. I hadn't heard of those. So just East and West, let's see. Okay, East and Southern, West and Central Africa. Okay, the years, the sex, the age. Let's see. Okay, so there's only one age to worry about. And these names are super long, so let me switch to the other view here. Estimated incidence rate, so new HIV infection per 100 uninfected population. Estimated number of annual deaths. Estimated number of people living with HIV. Estimated rate of annual AIDS-related deaths per 100,000. Okay, so something worth considering might be the infection rate compared to the death rate. And then, so annual AIDS-related deaths, annual people living with. Okay, so there's a couple things, but I think the per 100,000 is a bit better because it makes all of the countries relative to each other, where these three in the middle are going to be impacted by the number of people that live in each country. So you can't really compare the number of AIDS-related deaths in a small country compared to those in a large country, because a large company, if the proportions are the same, are going to have more deaths. So, okay. So first thing I'm going to look at is just look at the data by year. And I'm just going to incident rate. I'm going to just rename this to rate of new HIV infections per 100,000. So rename. Okay, and then the other one I was going to use was, let's see, rename. So this would be rate of annual AIDS-related deaths. Okay, so these are the two I'm going to focus on at first. So, so I'm going to need to look at it by country and then maybe by the two different rates. Okay, so we can see they all kind of, it looks like they all sort of follow this same pattern. If I make this a running total, yeah, we see they're all, the smaller countries obviously are going to have a lower rate. And these are, oh shoot, I need to go back and look at the, so describe, estimated per 100,000 population. Okay. Per 100. think that's right. So let me do that again. Describe per 100,000, and then this one describe per 1,000. Okay, so this is rename. So this is per 1,000. Okay, fine. And then so let's clear that table calc. Okay, so we see Zimbabwe has a high rate, but they're all coming down. All right, and then let's look at, so that's HIV infections, and we see those were happening much more longer ago. Eswatini, it looks like it had decreased, but now it's increasing and coming back down. All right, I'm going to then look at the two compared to each other, and let's look at it by country and by year. Okay, and that doesn't tell me a whole heck of a lot. UNICEF region. Let's see. Oh wow, West and Central Africa has a significantly lower rate than Eastern and Southern Africa. Okay. Okay. And if I change this mark type to a line, let me put year on path. Let me just go ahead and get rid of this field. I can put it back on color, it doesn't matter. So if I highlight a country now, so show highlighter, so I can see each of these different countries through here. Okay, what's this one here? Eswatini. So, okay, I'm going to try something real quick. So this is called a connected scatter plot, by the way, if you haven't seen this before. Let's see, so I want to look at my trellis calculations. And I'm just going to copy these real quick. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create like a small multiples view of this. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to create a calculated field, columns, and then rows, oops, and then new calculated field, rows. Okay, and I'm going to make both of these discrete. So I'm going to put columns on the columns and row on the rows. And oops, where'd my columns? Column on the columns. Okay, there we go. And I want to edit this table calc, and I want to compute it. Let's see, for each country. So yep, that should be okay. Okay, so I didn't do that quite right. So let's see. Let's see. I'm going to do it. Okay, there we go. And then let's just make this, let's just get rid of the UNICEF region. Okay, so now this tells us for each country, what does their pattern look like? Which doesn't really tell us a whole heck of a lot. I was just looking to see if there are any interesting patterns or anything like that, but there aren't. Maybe if I filter down to West and Central Africa, what does that look like? Okay, show filter. Okay. So some of these, yeah. So it's interesting. So the Central African Republic, let me flip this around. I think it might make a bit more sense then. So here, the Ivory Coast, this field is, so the rate of new HIV infections has gone down over time while the death rate increased. And then it came back. So it's almost like there's some kind of lagging indicator or something there. But nothing particularly insightful there. Okay, so the age field, there was only one age, so I don't need to worry about that. If I look at the country, let's see, year, and let's look at what were the things they were looking at here? Girls account for 75% of new HIV infections. Okay, so new HIV infections, and I could do gender on color, and then maybe make it a percent of total. And I want to do it for each country, for each gender. Is that right? No. So let's see. I'm doing this backwards. So I want to compare the genders. Okay, there we go. So this now adds up to 100%. Okay, yeah, so I've got that right. So you can see where the women make up a much larger proportion in almost every country. So if I put gender up here instead, you can see the women are almost always higher than the men. Okay, so let me just make this smaller to look at kind of small multiples, and puts gender back on color. And how many countries? And if I get rid of country from the view, so this shows you kind of the overall worksheet clear, manual sizing. Okay, so this shows you the rate overall. So let's label the lines. So not a whole lot has changed across over time for the estimated number of HIV infections. Now let's look at, that's the new infections. Isn't that what they said here? New HIV infections. These new infections disproportionately affect girls. Okay, there's been a fall in HIV incidence in many countries, but this is not the case in sub-Saharan Africa. Only 30. Okay, so that's not useful. A fall in HIV incidence rate. Okay, so let's look at rate of new infections. And then I want to look at I can't really do an average. How about I'll do the median rate. So that's the median rate of infection. So the reason I'm doing the median is because what the median will tell me, I'll just show you right now. So if I look at the country on detail, and oops, I didn't want to do that. If I put year on columns and country on detail, and let's see, no, I just want to pick 1 year. So let me just pick 2019. Okay, and then I want to pick new, what field was it here? That is our rate of new HIV infections. Okay, so now this gives me every country. And if I do the median, so let me just duplicate this as a cross tab. Let's see. Okay, so now I can see the different, if I order these from highest to lowest. So I've got 44 countries, so I need to go down to like number 22. So which one would be number 22? That's 26. So 22, this would be the median, would be 143. So it's kind of the midway point. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 5. Let's see, am I using the same field here? Oh, because it's split between boys and girls. But anyway, you would just order them, and then you would look at the median. So that helps you then. You don't want to do the average of these because then you're not accounting for the population change. Okay. Okay, so let's see. All right. So somebody posted a question on here. Can we look at their year for the max HIV rate and max death? Sure. So let's see. I probably need to look at it by gender. So I want to return. Let me just do it this way. Let me put this here and make it discrete. And then, yeah, that's fine. I'll do it maybe something like that. Yeah. So we want to create a calculated field. So it's called max HIV rate, max year. So we'd want to say something like for each country, so we want to say something like we want to get the maximum value for each country, and then what year is that? Yeah, so fixed on gender. Let's see, or no, sex. And I'm going to, I think for now I'm just going to do one country just to make sure I get it right. And then let's put sex here and year here. Okay, so okay, so my minimum and my maximum. So let me sort that. So my maximum is 70.3. So sex and country. And and then let's see. We want to get the, so for each year, we want to get the rate of infection. So that's going to give us the infection rate. That's going to give us exactly what's on the screen right now. So I'm just going to drop that in here. And we can see we get the same number. That's right. Okay, and then I want to say if, and then I want to get fixed on sex and country. And then we want to get the max of those. Okay, so I see I get that. And then I want to get the year for that. So, okay, so I think if I just go like, oops, shoot. Okay, so I think I'm just going to copy all of this for now. And I think I can just do this. Okay. That's still going to give me this. Okay, so that's good. So I want to say if the let's see, where is it here? If my rate is equal to that, then give me the year. So let's see what that gives me. Okay, that's fine. So max year. So 1996, 1995. Okay, let me format this. Okay, there we go. So, yep, so 1995, so that looks right. Okay, so that's good. And then I want to look at the, let's see, the max deaths. Okay, so let's duplicate this. So infections, annual AIDS-related deaths. So we want to do the rate of AIDS-related deaths. Okay, max year AIDS deaths. Okay, and let's put that on here. Okay, and we get 2010 versus 1996 and 2016. Okay, so then if I take those two off the view, and I can take, let's see, let's see, max, let's just default properties, number, format, and no thousand separators. Okay, there we go. So then we want to calculate the difference between the two. So let's lag, so infection rate to death rate lag. All right, so I want to do the infection rate, or no, other way around. So I want to do the death minus the HIV infection rate. Okay, and let's see what we get there. So I need to take a year off the view, and I did something else wrong there. Okay, what did I do there? Where is it here? So let me just do it like this. Let's do and I want to fix this for each country. Oh, what the heck? Okay. And then same thing here. Right, infection rate lag. And I'm getting nothing there. So why am I getting nothing if I take year out of the view? So something's wrong there. So then year and let's see. Oh. I shouldn't need to fix it on country. Let's see, I'm just trying to get the values to come back. So AIDS-related deaths, HIV rate, and then the lag is just going to be that minus that. And then a lag, let's put that there. Okay, I still get nothing. Okay, so something's happening with my math here. So let me just go back to where. So what is going on here? So why is this not working? So then average year. That shouldn't matter. Okay, and then, so if I do fixed country, that, I'm just trying to get this 1996 to populate all the way down, so let's just do an average. Let's see, so which one does this go with? So that goes with that. So fixed on country. If, so that, there we go. Yeah, so I'm doing something wrong here. Oh well, I get the idea here, but for some reason I'm not able to kind of see the difference here. So there's some 0 for max. Okay, so Michael, I need to just keep move on here. So yeah, let's infection gap between, so the infection gap, there's some null values, we need 0 for the max. Okay, let's see, so edit, then I think this is what you're saying, edit, okay, Okay, and then now if we take year off the view, still getting zeros. Okay, I'll try to figure that out later. So I have the else 0 on there now. And then let's see, so max, so that's giving me all zeros. And then I think I want to be able to, so I know I could do a window calculation, window max. And that would then bring back, so that should then bring back max year. So edit table calc, table down. There we go. So that gives us our max year. And then if I do the same thing with the HIV rate, I can do a window. I was trying to do it as an LOD, but it's easy. I think for me right now, it's going to be easier to do it as a let's see, not HIV rate. Okay. Okay, so let's do this one as table down. All right, let's see, what did I do here? Max rate, oh, AIDS rate, HIV rate, edit, table down. Okay, and now if I compute the difference between the two, and I want to do table down, and then table down. Okay, so now we get our 14 years. Okay, and now I can clear the sort on that. And then I could just say, let's just say last equals 0. Yeah, why is that not? Oh, come on. Yeah, okay. And we'll do table down. All right, and now I can just bring that up here. Oops. I can bring that up to the, oh, why is it not letting me? So I want to keep just the true. Okay, so there we go. So there's our lag. So I can get rid of that. And then if I could look at it for each country as well. And then I need to edit my table calc and do it for each country as well. And then I need to do the same thing here. So I need to uncheck country, edit table calc. Come on, uncheck country, and then edit table calc. So uncheck country and uncheck country. Okay, there we go. So now we get our 14 years, so I can take these off the view. I could take year onto detail. What happened there? Year. Oh, I need to edit my table calc. So that's correct. And then I need to filter to just the true. Okay, there we go. So now I can put year on detail, and we see the number of years. So Mauritius, they must not have data for the latest year. Yes, so some of these don't have data for the latest year, but I think that's what we're getting, the lag of the year. So this is giving me the number of the years in between. All right. So I think that's what you mean, Michael. And then if I put maybe if I put the gender onto color, and I put this onto columns, and need to get rid of, let's see, so if I, oh, so let's exclude that, and then let's exclude these two. Okay, there we go. And then maybe I put the gender here instead. So now we can see the difference between the male and the female. So maybe I will put it there. Actually, let me flip it. And I could put the country onto detail, gender there. And then I can make it a slope graph if I wanted to. So that's the difference between the male and the female. I'm pretty sure that's what you were after, Michael, if you want to correct me. So the lag between the females is much higher than the lag to the males. I think that's what we can then say with that. So default properties, number format. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I would word that though. So if you could maybe help me with some language for how to. So there are a couple countries where let me take this out of the tooltip, where the lag is higher for males than it is for, or lower for males than it is for females. So that's kind of like who dies faster, I guess. Right. So then if I wanted to color this, I could say, let's see, create calculated field. So where is my infection rate lag? So let's duplicate that and edit. And let's just say one is, no, I want to do it by gender though. So let's undo that. So the value, if I put that onto color as well, and I want to say the difference from, let's see, no, because what I want to do is I want to say the difference left to right, so which countries are higher for males and for females. It might be easier if I reshape the data a bit, because if I do, let's see, if I do, so I want to say window, let's see, I want to do window, no. So if sex equals female, then I want to return that. And say, is that bigger than the male? And I could make this a min and make this a max. Okay, so that's okay. Let's put that onto color. And that's not quite right, so edit table calc. So that's going to be like that. No, I want to do it by sex and by country. Okay, but that's not giving me, so that's just doing the difference across the view, which isn't going to help me much. Okay, so let me edit the table calc. Let me just try it like this. And what does that give me? So this gives me, the difference is 2019. No, I think I'm calling the wrong field. Where the hell's the field out difference? Then I want to do why is that giving me 2019? So the difference, 2019, 0. Okay, forget it. All right, anyway, I could just like manually include the ones that are increasing or decreasing. What I'm trying to do is, why can't I just calculate the difference left to right? That's what's driving me crazy here. Okay. Yeah, fixed for, I can't do a fixed for each gender because you can't put an LOD inside of a fixed. Okay, let me move on. So let's see. So if I go back to what they were looking at, girls account for 75% of new HIV infections among adolescents globally. Okay, so if I go to year, let's see, and I do, let's say sex, and I do, where is it here? What am I looking for? What did this say? 75% new HIV infections. Okay, let me just stick with that for now. And let's make this a percent of total. And we want to compare the for each year. So this is kind of the overall. This needs to be probably a median. No. Yeah, so no, I want to use estimated number of annual. Oh yeah, this is what I want to use, not the rate. And percent of total. And I want to use it by year. Okay, there we go. That's better. And then if I break this down by country, I can still see which countries have the highest rate of infection between males and females. Okay, this is like super uninteresting. Okay, so maybe if I, let me duplicate this sheet, and I'm going to do a, I'm going to hide the males, and then I'm going to turn this into a map. No, can't do that there. So I need to put, let me just drag here to filters. Okay, and then country on detail, color, and let's make it a map. Oh. So I need to put latitude would be my rows, longitude is my columns, and there we go. So this is the, okay, so these are all of the countries. This is the estimated, this is, okay, so let's see here. So in 1990, annual infections was 90%. Some of these are null, so I could filter those out. Oops. So let's edit our, let's filter and do non-nulls. Okay, there we go. So in Niger, females, so the smallest is 50%. So women always make up at least 50% of the new HIV cases. That's pretty terrible. Okay. So what's another way I could show this then? So let's go back to here. Let's hide the males again. And if I do it like that, but I make this one an area. And then dual axis and synchronize. Does that do me anything? I don't think so. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way again. Okay. Oh, so let me just grab the edge of the chart. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. So yeah, these graphs aren't particularly interesting. Okay. This is a really, really boring data set. Okay, so maybe I'll go back to this lag idea. So the only other thing I want to do here is, so this is, so Beardman, we're actually getting the lag. We're returning the number of years between the peak for infections and the peak for deaths. So I don't know if that helps explain that or not. Okay. So the last thing I want to do here then is I want to figure out how to get each of these. So edit this, and so I should be able to look at So this is telling me this is going to return the year. But what I want to get is the rate. Okay, so what field am I looking at? Infection rate to death rate. So I want to say the male lag is less than the female lag. What I want to do is I want to compare these across the view. So, because I can't put let me just try something here. This isn't what I'm looking for, but I'm just trying to do something different. And what I want to do is I just want to get that calculation. So minus. Okay, so I want to take the infection rate. Now let's do it from here. And then that. Okay. Okay, so let's edit that calculation. I do it by so that's always going to be so that's not right. 0. Yes, I know I don't want to do it by year. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Okay. No. Okay. So let me okay, so infection rate. So my calculation needs to be my calculation is wrong. So I want to take the infection rate lag and I want to compare it to the previous value, which is that. Okay, so it's just the configuration here. So we want to look at, we want to go across. Okay, but I was still getting 0. Okay, let me try something else. So let's just do lookup. Yes, so that's not right. So we want to do, we'll do it for each country. Yep, by sex, that's right. Yes, that's right. By country. Oh, maybe that's it. But I don't understand why I'm getting these values. Okay. Oops. So let's look at, let me take that off and delete this calculation. All right. So what I can do now is, let's say, so which countries are higher? So if I go like this, nope. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just manually find the ones that are higher, so it won't take me too long. 15, 16, 19. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4. Okay. And then I could just group them. And then if I put this back onto, no, I don't want to do that, shit. I want country here. And then I want the group onto, I meant to create a set, not a group, but that's okay. Country onto detail. Yeah, so now we can see those countries that have decreased. So okay, so 4 out of how many countries? So let's see, so 4 out of 41. Okay. All right, so I'm almost out of time here, so I need to just go ahead and finish this out. I guess I'll just go with this view. So format. Let's see, I don't want my axis rulers. I don't want my 0 line. Okay, so format. And let's do the axis we want to do as, and then, but see now my tooltip is, that's fine. Okay. So, and then let's get rid of that in the tooltip. So we left the country. I could do, okay, so let me fix my tooltip. It's pretty morbid, but it's okay. I think I'm explaining that right. Okay. So fixed on, yeah, so yeah, so Michael, the problem was the max year death rate. That would need to be an LOD as well, which I don't have it right now. So this would need to be an LOD. And I think if I go to, let's see here. Okay, so so I want this to be for each country. So if I do fixed on country, and then I do that, that might do it. So expected. Let me try it this way. Where are we here? Max. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, I'm just going to leave it the way it was because I'm going to screw it up otherwise. So, so let's see. So now I'm going to, this doesn't really need to be very wide. So maybe 600 by 700, something like that. And let's see, where is that sheet? And this is going to be, let's see, 0, 0, 600, 700. I could probably maybe add some padding, about 20 around the edges. And maybe that could be less wide, or more narrow, however you want to say it. Okay, and then let's do, let's see, what am I looking for? Caption. So, is UNICEF created by and then I want to make sure I give Michael credit for the idea. Let's see. So, Michael, I don't know your Twitter handle or if you're on Twitter, but so let's say Nehan. Okay, I'm not sure how else to say this, but analysis idea. How do I want to say this? I need a good way to say this. M. Nehan. Okay. Thank you. I'll just do analysis by. There we go. Yep. Since you did all the work for this one. At 8, let's say apply. Okay. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to do some cleanup here. So it's a really good idea, Michael. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. So so we probably want to say something like let's see. So to answer Faisal's question, yeah, I tend to just iterate through a bunch of different charts and see which ones work the best. I typically stick with one, but if there's more than one, I can put them together into a single view or into a dashboard or something like that. But I typically stay with just one chart. Okay, let's see. Okay, so only for 41 countries. Let's see, 10% of countries, 41, have a lower lag from infection to death. Okay, I need some help wording this one. So any ideas on how to word this? So what I'm trying to say is out of the 41 countries, only 4 of them have a shorter lag. 10% of the countries have a shorter have a shorter time. Let's see. Men die. How about I should turn this around? Women die more quickly from infection to death in 90%. of those countries, something like that. Women die more quickly from I think that's right. I think that's probably good enough. Women die more quickly from infection to death. More quickly than men from infection to death in 90% of countries. In, I think it's like sub-Saharan countries, isn't it? Sub-Saharan. I'm pretty sure these are only sub-Saharan countries. Okay, so let me go back to the data here. UNICEF region, East and Southern, because all of the countries are not in here. So yeah, it's only, I think that's sub-Saharan. Yeah, I think that's right. Let me just double check that. Yeah, so this would be sub-Saharan. Is that right? Yeah, so that's sub-Saharan. Okay, I think that's probably good enough. Women die more quickly than men from infection, from HIV, and from the point in 90% of sub-Saharan. Okay, I think that's okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so women die more quickly than men from the point of HIV infection in 90%. There we go. I think that's better. Yeah. In 90% of sub-Saharan countries, something like that. Women die quickly from women die more quickly because they're so women die more quickly than men. So that's because women are women are lower infection rate to death. Yeah, the number of years that pass for women is less. Maybe it's good to death and say from HIV. Women die more quickly than men from HIV. In 90%. Oh, that's good. That's perfect. I think that's what I was after. Okay, that's really good. Thanks, Olaf. That's excellent. Okay, I think that's it. So thank you, everybody, for your tips. I know it was a bit of a struggle with this data set, but they're not all easy, and that's okay. Actually, I think one other thing I should probably do is swap these colors around, because I want these to maybe be red and those to be like a grayish color, something like that, because I want the women to stand out more, something like that. Yeah, maybe I should make these, if I make these like black maybe or something. What does that look like? Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, so something like that. So I want to highlight the red ones and not the other ones. So, but I still don't like that color red. So let me pick a different red. Let me try. Just try maybe that and that. Okay, I think that's a bit better. So women die more quickly than men from HIV in 90% of sub-Saharan countries. All right, one other thing, and just keep going with this. I'm going to put that on size and then reverse the sizes. Make that as small as it'll go. Make that smaller. Okay, There we go. Just trying to make the gray ones kind of fade to the background a bit. Right. Okay, there was one more suggestion. Looks like somebody else was going to suggest a different title. Okay, I think I'll leave it at that for now. So a little bit over an hour. Hopefully you found that useful. I know it was quite a struggle. Thank you again, Michael, for all of the tips and the ideas along the way. I didn't really love any of these charts. They're not, I mean, the only one that was sort of interesting was maybe this, this connected scatter plot, but that's still not particularly interesting. Yeah, so I don't, again, it's fine. Not all the data sets are perfect for analysis or anything. So one other thing maybe I could do while I'm thinking of it is I could maybe I make the infection rate like an orangish color, and then I'm going to set this to be maybe where is it here? I think it's this color. Do something like that, and then what I could do is so this is I could even do, this is the estimated number of annual infections. Yep. I wonder if I would then float. Let's see if this will work. So layout, where's my sheet 6. I wonder if I could use this as some type of, selector. So hide the title, just to be able to highlight a country, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I go here and I could use my, no, that's not going to work either because I don't have year in the view. Okay, whatever. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, anything else? Let's see. Okay, I think that's it. I'll leave it there. I might play around with the colors a bit more to get something I like, but yeah, thank you very much for all the help, and I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll be back next week. All right, have a good day, everybody.